Oh, I'm Brooks Koepka. Come on. I am now Brooks Koepka. Can you believe the scenes? Oh yeah. That's what Brooks plays. That's what he plays. If he plays it, I am it. Oh, Brooks. Yes, please. Come on. Be Brooks. Welcome to Team Srixon, Brooks Koepka. Today's video, hello, I'm Mark Crossfield, very far away from the real Brooks Koepka. So why don't we take a look at what's in Brooks's Srixon bag. There's a few clubs that aren't Srixon Cleveland as well, which we'll talk about and maybe let you guess what they are, because I'm not actually quite sure what they are. I think I can guess though. Talk about some of the decisions he's made and why he's chosen them. I've got the information from Srixon today and what's exactly in his bag, which I'm going to share with you. I am a Team Srixon player, so this is a video which is not actually sponsored by Srixon in any way. I asked for this information, and at the end of the day, me and I reckon Srixon as well, but they can speak for themselves, would want you to go and get fit, get what's best for you. This is just a fun video to see what Brooks is going for in his bag from the Srixon Cleveland setup. Because I think there's things you can learn, and there's certainly things you can learn that don't apply to you. You can think, well, that's definitely not going to suit me, and might. Oh, I'm Brooks Koepka. So why don't we start with his irons? Now, I do wonder, and it probably is, to be fair, if Brooks is playing off winter mats like we are here in the UK now, because we've all gone a little bit wintry here. So Brooks has got the ZX7s in the Srixon iron. This is a player's looking profile, so lines, it's forged, it's got not much offset, but we do have a little bit of helping in the back. So the ZX7 Srixon irons, he has 4 to pitching wedges in these. Now, I don't know if anyone in the comments down below can remember what irons he used when he was uncontracted. So I think he was uncontracted for like 4 or 5 years. Again, you can let me know in the comments down below. And he used irons which are similar in effect. So he always seems to like a little bit of cavity. He's not a true blade hitter, which is always quite funny if you think about some of the questions we get asked as reviewing clubs about blades and cavities and players irons, those kind of ideas. I mean, these feel, as you'll see in any of the reviews I've done, as good as anything, as soft as anything. They look fantastic, and it's one of the things when you get these in people's hands is they're amazed at the looks and feel. It's just often something they're not really is on their radar as much maybe in this bracket, because in my opinion it is definitely one of the better looking irons out there. He's using the dynamic gold X100s in the shafts, which obviously will feel like poles for lots of people, super stiff, and a cord mid-size round grip, so round grip, no rib at the back kind of thing. And he stops at a 4-iron, which I think is a good image in itself. He obviously has other clubs which we'll talk about on top of that, but if any of you watching have still got 3 irons in your bag, Brooks hasn't. Oh my word, yes, I am Brooks. Oh, what? Now, we don't talk about his putter. There's no mention of what putter, so in the comments down below, what putter's Brooks gaming? I'm pretty sure it's a Scotty Cameron, but maybe in the comments let me know what putter do you reckon he's got in his bag. So the 4-iron, you do have to be Brooks, unfortunately, to play this kid. I mean, there is help, obviously, but the 4-iron I'm looking at and just think I want my hybrids back. Now, I wouldn't stop playing golf if hybrids were banned and I had to hit a 4-iron. I would quite enjoy the change of a challenge, but definitely I'm going to be going in a little bit lower. I'm going to be using it from less situations, but remember, Brooks is considerably stronger, meaning he will get the flights he wants from this kind of club. The rest of us, well, we can just watch, can't we, as I sclaff one up there with it. Oh, hit that pretty good, to be fair. Nice little draw into the middle. Not sure I'm going to get that out of the semi in little divots like I do my hybrid though. Oh, Mark is not a player. So from the irons that goes up to his driver, there's a gap between his irons and his driver. So I don't know what fairway wood he's got. I'm guessing it's an old tailor-made, if I remember correctly. But maybe in the comments down below, what do you reckon, what fairway wood has he got? And also while you're down there, what's really interesting, I always think with tour players, is the fairway wood, the 3 wood, whatever fairway wood he's got, a 5 wood, a 3 wood. I don't think he's got any hybrids or driving irons, but he might do. Again, let me know. He goes from 4 iron to where, I'm not sure, they don't tell me. But often the 3 wood is a club that is not sponsored. It is bespoke to the player, like the putter. Why do you think that is? Why would a fairway wood be allowed in a player's mind to be kept bespoke, where a driver obviously is key for the sponsorship deals? What does that say about us, the public, that they're trying to talk to with these kind of deals? It's a fun one, isn't it? And it's a pitching wedge that blends super nice with some gaming Cleveland wedges, which we'll go to next. But it's definitely a set of irons. I mean, it's off the rack stuff. You know, you could get these irons made up. And to be fair, the kind of irons he uses could appeal to lots of handicap ranges as well. The world of blades is kind of disappearing slowly, even from the tour game, isn't it? It does just feel forged, soft and lovely. Shall we talk wedges? What has he gone and put in his bag? Because we're now in the Cleveland world. So he has 3 wedges in his bag. So he has the RTX Zip Core. He has the Tour rack range, which gives you a variations of sole grinds. It's quite an extensive range actually. 52, 56 mid bounce, and then a low bounce in the 58. He has the S400 shafts in there. It's standard length, standard light, standard length, standard light, I think, with everything. And he's got the raw finish, so you will see him off color. I often think as well with the tour players, it's amazing how much the wedges open up a brand to players. It's kind of wedges and driver a little bit that does start to open up brands for their consideration, I often think. Titleist have it with Vokey, which really gets people in the truck talking. And then if you have a driver that they want as well, so obviously with the new drivers from Srixon being maybe some of the best they've produced, I think the conversations just open up. And obviously Cleveland, with their reputation with wedges, I think it's just a very easy choice for someone like Brooks. If he hasn't been using these for an age, I wouldn't know, but might have been, it's a guess. He certainly does have a nice set of wedges. Tour rack me up. And he's got the 3 different lofts as well, which obviously fit into the numbers he wants to hit, which is the important thing with any wedge set, even yourself. Make sure you are getting the right amount to allow you to do the job that you need around the greens. Driver, the big stick. This is often the one people are most excited about. What driver has he put in the bag? So you got the ZX5 and the ZX7, and the 7 I would say is more what people would say is the players club. But what is happening, which is really interesting with lots of the Srixon players, it's the ZX5 that seems to be going into their bag. So we get adjustable neck on the ZX5, a weight port at the back, and it's the slightly more kind of flattened down shape. It's still a nice shape, but it's not maybe as rounded as the 7, which is like the player's shape. Not that it's not a nice shape, it still is. You see the carbon on the top, but there's a few of them using the 5. It seems to be the more preferred out of the 2, which is interesting. Here's a 9.5 loft. So I'm an 8.5 loft, so obviously I would say, I reckon, got better launch than Brooks maybe, what? But again, I think if you take away the ideas that you think, if you're watching this thinking, oh, he's just trying to sell Srixon equipment, which I'm not, you get tested, like I said before, just definitely get what's best for you. If you try it, it's good. But I'm using an 8.5 loft, he's using a 9.5 loft, where loft is often solely related to like the ideas of speed. So when people are not getting fit, they tend to like go lower and lower and lower lofts often if they think that they're fast. But Brooks, obviously, I'm at a guess and I don't know, I imagine he's pretty much de-lofting. He's slightly strong grippers and he handle lean kind of player, bow wrist at the top. So he's trying to add a bit of loft. I'm the opposite, I add lots of loft, so I'm actually taking loft off this end to try and marry it to my launch. Again, that's why fitting's so important. I'm going to read the shaft to you as well. I could memorize it, but I can't be bothered. It's the Mitsubishi Diamana D plus 70 gram TX shaft. He's 45.5 length, 44.5 inches long, so he's a shorter driver. He's got mid-size round grips on all. I haven't got the grip or the shaft in his. And again, what's interesting for me is I go for much lighter shafts, which is why, again, from in the bag ideas, I know we like them and I think they're interesting, but you've got to adapt it to your own needs and deliveries and what have you. There's no point in me having a 70 gram shaft. I'll get to the 15th hole and be a little bit more knackered than I would if I use, well, sometimes I use a 47 gram shaft to show you the difference. ZX5, I've gamed this driver. It does sound good, feels nice. It's got that carbon sound. It's got a lovely true flat flight on it. The 5 and the 7, to be fair, both of them give that real like bombing flight. And I say all those words, bombing flight, what have you. Obviously my flight, it's quite a nice pat flight. Brooks gets a nice bombing flight. Golf ball. What golf ball is he using? Well, he'll be using something similar to this. I can't really show you it yet. It's a prototype Z-Star is what they're saying he's using, which is basically what I've got here. It's a test ball, but it's about to release, I would guess. Oh man, full iron out of the rough. It's not a bad lie, to be fair, but oh, give me my hybrid back, Brooks. So what exactly does a prototype ball mean? And this is something that all manufacturers do. I've seen it on tour ranges for years, and there's a few reasons that I'm going to highlight, and there might be more as well, but these are the ones that I can think of why these kind of balls exist. And it fuels those kind of, oh, the pros get equipment that I can't get, you know, they get all the perks, they get all the help. The prototype balls often are what come to market years down the line, so they do use the tour players and what they want, their needs, as ideas, as a sketch pad, as a place that they can try new things on the range. If they're lower spinning, higher spinning, different sounds, different feels, different looks, different flight patterns, whatever they're playing with. So you'll often find that there are tour balls. And then the other big reason, and I would say this is one of the biggest, which amateurs often don't realise how similar they are to the tour pros, just obviously not in the areas they want to be similar to them in. Giving a tour pro a ball that no one can get, a specialised ball for them, they like it. Yep, like you do, and you get your custom fit clubs, or if I was to send you a club that you can only get on tour, like a tour rack wedge before it's released, people like it. They'll show it to their friends. Tour players like that specialised, special treatment. They like golf, they love golf, they live golf. Some of them get tired of it after a time, but they still love it in their heart, really. And having stuff that's just for them, it's cool. The part of it is that they get what is so specific for them, and that works in performance to a certain extent as well. I can't game that ball because of X. Don't like the way it sounds, don't like the way it feels. I think I get too much spin with it. I've been on tour ranges and seen people test different balls. You see the mess of the player, even on a tour player, but they'll latch onto a shot that spins 200 revs less and say, oh, that's what I need. I need that 200 revs less. They're no different. They're like you down the lens who's watching an in the bag video. They love to think that the equipment is really doing everything for them as well. So if the manufacturers give them what they want, what they need, if the performance is incremental differences at that level as well, obviously you could argue that's big because they're all so good and so close in performance, so any little difference is only a good thing. But there's a lot of it which is about trying to get the player to use your equipment. They say, I can't use that wedge because of this. They go and grind it. I can't use that driver because of this. They put something in it to change the sound. Doesn't mean it's better or worse than what you buy off the rack. It means you're giving them the service, slightly, I would say you get a different service than what you get maybe from your pro shops. But to be fair, when you're talking with the world's best, you just need to make them happy because they're pretty good. When you're thinking of all this, relating it to yourself, you've got a lot of bigger fish to fly than if you're using a new prototype ball or not. Even though it's fun, but I like it. Prototype ball, no one's hitting that ball, I'm testing it. Post comments down below, what do you think of his golf bag? What do you think it means for Srixon, Cleveland and for Brooks? Will we see any difference in his performance? Will it help him or will it make him worse? It's always those kind of questions when people change manufacturers to see how they actually come out and perform. Thanks for watching, hope that helps. Post comments down below. I'd love to hear what you think he's got between that 4-iron and the driver in that comment section down there. Hit that subscribe button, and if you're subscribed, make sure you ring that bell. A few more of you could have that bell on. I can see how many of you have got it on. Do us a favour, put that bell on. Come on, loads of free golf content.